Hello. So, I have to come clean and just tell you that I was planning on making a Halloween video for you guys. And I want to be honest with you guys. I had a Halloween video planned for today, and it's not coming out. It's not coming out. But I have an excuse. It's not just because I was lazy or because I ran out of time and didn't schedule things right. I have a genuine reason. Well, let me actually build the background for all this. I haven't had my camera on for a long time. A lot of my videos, as you have seen, doesn't have a camera on it. And part of it is because there's something that I have right behind me where my camera would usually be that has to stay in its place. That is my copy of Pokémon Ultra Sun. You're probably wondering, why would you want to, are you displaying this game now? Like, have you no shame? And it's like, no, there's a reason for it. It's because that thing freaking scares me when I don't know where it is. The game is so shit that I need to keep my eye on that thing. Make sure it doesn't reach out into the world or whatever. That's my mentality on it. So something happened. I woke up in the morning. I went to grab my watch, which is usually next to the box or the display where Pokemon Ultra Sun is. And I reach out for my watch and I get it. And I look to the side of it. And that game case is gone. It's not there. And it has me worried. You'd think I'd be happy because I hate that game. But yeah, it's got me worried. Where did it go? What happened to it? And these are concerns that bother me that whole day. And then I go into the night and I go to sleep and I can't sleep because I'm wondering what the heck happened? Where did it go? And then I keep thinking about it the next day. And I keep thinking about it and it starts to interrupt in my focus. I can no longer get things done. So a lot of people don't do this, but I like to take a nice walk at 9:37 p.m. when there's nobody in the street because I prefer to be alone. So I go out for a walk. All the lights are off. There's a couple cars passing by. There's always that one super loud car that, yeah. But I'm walking around just to cool my head a little bit so I don't have to think about this. Maybe I can finally sleep. And I'm walking down the street and I get to an intersection and I see a car and it's turned on. It's parked, but the headlights are on. And I just decide to walk by it. No specific reason or anything. I'm just like, I'll go check it out. It's on my path on the way home anyway. So I walk over and I look towards the window so I could say hello to whoever it is. You know, I'm pretty nice to the neighbors, but there's no one in it. And I'm thinking, well, that's kind of strange. Why is there no one in this car? And why did they leave it on? Well, the engine wasn't on, just the headlights. But still, why would you leave it on? So I kind of get closer to the car. And I look at the driver's seat. And in the driver's seat is a copy of Pokemon Ultra Sun. And it's my copy. How do I know? Because it's damaged, first of all. And it still has the stains from when I threw it in the toilet. And I'm freaking out. What the heck? What is my copy doing in there? I kind of don't really want to get it. You know what? I'm over this. Why do I have this game on display? I don't need it. I'm going home. So I turn back. I said that path would take me to my house. I lied. I just wanted to see the car. I just needed an excuse. Yeah, I turned back so that I could get home. I crossed the intersection again. And then I hear an engine start. And it's the car that was on the other side. And it starts to rev up. And I'm thinking, well, it's not going to get me. I mean, come on. It's on the other side of the intersection, and the light is red. It's not going to pass on red. And it gets louder and louder. And then it starts driving. And it's going down the road, and I'm like, oh, surely it's not gonna pass the red light. But it continues driving, and I start fucking running because it passes the red light. Somehow, not a car passes through. I mean, if it would have crashed into another car, I'd be safe. But no, it just passes through the intersection on a red light. Who the hell does that? And it doesn't get hit. And it keeps on driving. And it's chasing after me, and I'm running as fast as I can. To the side of me, there's a bike. I get on that bike. I don't care whose bike it is. I'm stealing it because I'm getting the heck out of here. And I keep on riding. I'm riding as fast as I can. And that car is still on my trail, and it hits me. I wake up. I wake up in the middle of an intersection. I'm feeling really rough on the head, but I don't feel injured anywhere else. Like, my legs are fine. The rest of my body's fine. But I'm just coming out of, like, waking out of a coma or something. And I look around. Every corner of the intersection I look at looks exactly the same. I must be dreaming. What's happening here? Where am I? This doesn't look like where I live. I start walking around, incredibly puzzled. But everywhere I go is just another house that looks exactly the same. There's not even an apartment building nearby. Where the heck am I? I keep walking. And I keep walking. I keep walking down the road. And there's just more houses. At this point, I just decide I'm going to knock on one of these doors. I just can't keep going. So I run up to one of the random houses and I start knocking. Hello? Can anyone open the door and just help me with something? There's no response. I try again. Nothing. I go to the house next door and I do the same thing. Same response. I try at least 5 other houses. Some of them across the road. Nothing. What the heck is happening? I keep walking down. Because what else am I supposed to do? I'm not just going to sit there. Nothing's going to happen. I got to figure this out. I still don't even know where I am. Eventually, my walking pays off. I find a cave. I don't want to go in a cave. Why did it have to be a cave? Why is there a cave in this? Oh. Why am I here? But I have no choice. It's not like there's anything else here other than houses. So I start walking to the cave. And I swear, the moment I stepped into the cave, I swear I felt like there was some sort of presence right behind me. But I turned around just to check, and there was nothing there. So I just proceed into the cave. It's a fairly average cave. I don't really review caves, so I don't really know what to say. I mean, eventually I do find water. A lot of water. And for some reason, there's a boat. So I go on the boat, and I have to use my hands to paddle because there were no actual paddles. So you put a boat, but you don't put paddle. I'm not going to complain about this. I keep going deeper into the cave. Eventually, I see more light. I think finally, I'm getting somewhere. I mean, the fact that I found a cave in the middle of a neighborhood that looked exactly the same everywhere, it's got to mean something. So I head towards the light. And the moment my eyes adjust, you know what I find? You know what I find? This video is sponsored by the comment section. That's right, we're back with another question of the day. And today's question of the day: which Pokemon would you prefer to have never existed? We would like to hear all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for sponsoring this video. There is an entire ancient ruin in this cave. As a matter of fact, it's oddly reminiscent to the Abyssal Ruins from Pokemon Black and White, because it just looks like a giant maze. It's just not underwater, and it's actually full of life. There's a ton of creatures of all sorts, all of them with some sort of ancient aura to them. Explore for a little bit, but I get lost because, again, it's a giant maze. Eventually, though, I'm just at a point where I just need to ask anybody. I straight up just tap someone on the shoulder.
You're not from around these parts. What brings you?
I don't know. I just want to go home. I need to know what happened to that copy of Pokemon Ultra Sun. I need to know who the driver of the car was so that I can get my injury money.
Unfortunately, I don't know what any of that means. But it seems like you have your hands tied with the outside rather than with us. Perhaps an exit is what you seek.
Yes, I want to leave. Everything that I witnessed today, I don't want to deal with anymore.
In that case, they said, take a right, then a left, right up, keep going straight, left and back, right back forth, and you'll make it to the chamber.
Thank you so much. And I ran quickly for the first corner. And at that moment, I already forgot what the directions were. Hours must have passed, but I had finally found the exit. Quite the oversized door, if you ask me. It's not guarded or anything. As a matter of fact, it's actually pretty old, like it was never used. With a large pull on the handle, it does open and a bright light shines through. Finally, my escape back home is beyond this point. I run through, and very quickly, as I screech to a halt, as I nearly dove straight into a deep ravine. Below the ravine, a highway, with what seems like the same car just passing by every second. But call me crazy, because it actually looks like the same car passes by and then teleports to a starting point and then passes by again. I don't care. I still have no idea where the heck I am. So I scout around the cliff, and unfortunately, I find another cave. Am I living a mystery dungeon game or something? It's even worse when I walk in. The cave had spiderwebs everywhere. I can't stand spiders. I will let spiders be if they let me be, but I hate having to deal with them. Going through the cave, there are just more and more webs. Then imagine, I finally find some human beings through all of this. Oh, excuse me, but thank goodness I'm able to find... Shh.
You'll wake it,
they said. I didn't notice at first. But right in front of me, and those people, was a giant spider. Ugh, it still gives me shivers when I think about it. It makes me wish I had a blowtorch to burn that spider. It actually would have been handy to burn the copy of Ultra Sun, since all of this is the fault of that game. It will spare us for a week, as long as we leave it food, and so long as we aren't in its sights when it awakens, one of them said. Perfectly fine with me, but I need to know how to get home. Even just knowing where I am would be a big help, I exclaimed. They agreed to take me back to their village, just beyond the cave. Finally, we're making progress. But as we make our leave, I step on a branch. How is there even a branch inside this cave? The spider begins to move, and immediately opens its enormous eyes, with all 8 targeted at us. It ignores the fact that there's food, which I find it puzzling, And instead it just rushes towards us, using its legs to get a hold of one person, pinning them down to the ground and stabbing them straight through like a knife cutting through butter. Sprinting for my goddamn life, but the spider slices through every other person in seconds before fast approaching me. Please, anything but at the hands of a spider. The spider gets closer and closer as I continue to sprint. But because of all the constant walking throughout this entire time, I'm getting more and more exhausted, and I begin to slow down. The spider swoops in, preparing to stab right through me, and I just give up and fall straight into the ground. Suddenly, the sound of a door opens, and a man in a white coat steps in. Well, it's good to see you're finally conscious. That was some accident you were involved in. Doctor, I said. What happened? Well, you were the victim of a hit and run, he said. You are honestly very lucky to be alive. Looks like I was back to reality. But it still doesn't answer a lot of questions. Because for some reason, I feel like all that experience that I just had wasn't really a dream. It felt a little too real. And then as for the car accident, I don't even know what the heck happened there. And then a week later, leading to today, I was released from the hospital. And now I'm here. My editor is handing me a sheet of paper. Thank you. He wants me to read it out loud. This story is shit. Okay. The writing is poor, the execution is bad. Everything about this was a waste of time. How about we read something more interesting? Something that is truly terrifying. And all it takes is a couple words in the very beginning. Really? You're gonna replace the content I'm doing right now. Okay, that's fine. All right, sure. Editor knows better. Let's read what the they decided to give me here, as if it's gonna be any better. Back when the boundary between man and Pokemon was blurred,